Hello, my fellow comic book collectors. It's Alan, the comic collector geek, and I have a returning offender to the channel, a friend of my channel. It's Biggie Shaq. I go on his channel fairly often, actually. Every second Friday, he has the Collectors Club, and we show cool comics. We talk about comics. We have little battles that we do sometimes. We call it like poker, where we show five comics, like kind of like a hand, and it's a fun event. Um, at the time of recording this, actually, we just did that show like a few days ago, and we each like there was three of the collectors who were doing that challenge, and we each won one round, and the round that I won was for the worst comics in the collection at the worst comics. So that's my claim to fame on his channel. So without further ado, let's get Biggie on here. One sec here. Oh, whoops. I pressed the wrong button. This is always fun. Okay, hi, Biggie.
Yo,
Hey.
thank you, Alan, for having me for my second return to Big Comic Book Alan. Dude, we have formed a bit of a friendship, like you were saying earlier. I've been on panel with Alan a good, I'd say double digits by now. It's probably been a
Oh
good
yeah,
10
easily,
times or so.
yeah, and not just on your
So
show, but on like a whole bunch of different shows too.
yeah. We've met on I believe it was Comic Journeys and Fleekers and a
Yeah,
couple other, mainly
yeah,
Fleeker, probably not Journey, but there's a couple
yeah,
more.
yeah. But yeah, no, it's always a good time. We're very different. Like you're more like a flamboyant than I am. I'm a little bit more low key, but um, you know, tell quickly people about the wrestling thing. I like people might not get that, so I kind of want you to just quickly give a little bit of insight into the wrestling thing.
Yeah, man. So me and my boy Madness, Comic Head 84, years ago, dude, about 4 or 5 years ago, uh, we was just finding out about like we could all hang out. There was this thing called Google Hangouts,
Oh, okay.
and we all got on YouTube, and we would even say things like, "Give me the hot tag." Well, hot tag is reference to like when you're in a tag team battle and the guy's getting beat up and he runs to his tag partner and he tags the other guy in, and then the guy that gets tagged in comes in like Superman and stuff, right? So I'd be in the chat, I'd be like, "Give me the hot tag," and he'd send me an email, and I meet him on Google Hangouts on his channel, and we was just hanging out talking comic books, and we were talking about Dusty Rhodes and Hulk Hogan and Macho Man, and it really sunk in. I was thinking, you know, it would be fun. And what is like nerdier than acting like a wrestler? You
Yeah.
know, like you're, I'm gonna go extreme goofball. Either people are gonna hate this, or people are gonna kind of like it. And I started on my channel, and I did it on my crappy phone years ago. You can just go live, and I did Hulk Hogan for like 30 minutes while I was doing uh, comic books. And I never seen anybody do it. I never seen anybody try it.
Yeah.
And the theory is like my collection and me are better than you and your collection kind
Yeah.
of deal.
Yeah. The typical
So
like ego kind of wrestler kind of Hulk Hogan-y kind of thing. Yeah.
yeah, like this is our way of being able to have a fight. Like we're going to be able to talk to each other and see who has the best promo and who's able to say the coolest thing or show the coolest book. And me and my boy Madness would do the Power Hour for a while. He would do Macho Man, I would do Hogan, and the NWO, me, 90 MF Comics, and 84, all kind of like just formed the NWO, and that was kind of the beginning of comic book wrestling, you know?
So that's NWO is New World Order kind of thing. Yeah. Is that
Yeah,
what it
yeah,
is?
like New World Order, Black and White, Hulk Hogan, Macho Man, and 90 was Chris Jericho, but it didn't matter for us.
Yeah.
You know, he's in anyway.
So, like,
But
can you show some examples of comics that you'd use to battle and how the battles would kind of happen? Or
oh yeah, so me and uh, me and Alan, we play poker on the club.
yeah,
So whenever me and Alan are playing, we might say something like Batman covers, and I'd go get a
oh,
Batman Silver Age,
I just
and
picked
he,
that one up so recently. It's so funny. I love that cover. I thought it was just a great cover.
yeah, he's kind of like they're like kind of scared of the woman here, or something. I don't know what's going on exactly, but they
Me
kind of look
neither.
a
I
little,
never read it. I
little
just thought it was a great cover.
mystified. They're like, oh my gosh, it's a woman, but so we could be like, my book's better than your book because my book's in a mylar, or my book sucks because it's in the back of a bag and it's not in the front, or just anything, just to clown each other. And then we had the chat vote, and sometimes we'll have judges on our panel that could vote too. And it depends on how the chat's acting, how many points we get the judge to give, but.
Yeah.
It's just a fun, the whole wrestling thing, which is just to get people in front of the camera and cut loose and stuff. And you
Well,
don't have to be a wrestler. Like you don't even have a wrestling persona. You're just
no,
Collector Allen.
I'm just me, which is boring. But yeah, I'm just
I don't think it's boring. No.
I'm the balance to all the wildness. I just sort of like the calm personality. I'm the straight man. There's always the funny man and the straight man. I'm the straight man. So
you come with some pretty good intelligent books there, and you're not afraid to point out how smart they are. So Doc was just Doc for a long time until we figured out Doc Lesnar, and he's still just Doc. So
yeah, that's another guy that I'm going to be interviewing this week.
yeah.
Oh, that's a great book. So like,
ain't it?
What's the key about that book? I know, but tell people.
Sure. First, Norman Osborn. I believe there's more to it than that. But
isn't it also the first cameo of what's her name, like Mary Jane or something like that?
I was looking that up the other day, and it was like 19 and 28 or something like that, the way I remember. And this is 37. I don't know what the numbers were.
I forget. Yeah, I forget the number, how it worked.
It was the one with the Spider Slayer, and it was the other one with the punching guy. So I'm not sure if she's in this one. She might be. It might be like a second or third cameo. Who knows?
Yeah, there's some before she fully appears. But yeah,
I don't know, man.
Yeah, but it is cool that it is the first one. Yeah.
Do you know that indie where it's like laser, something laser, and it looks kind of like this? It's got the guy on top with the bald head and then the robot. There's an indie that kind of looks like this. Oh yeah, I'll have to show you later. But
yeah, I haven't seen that. I don't know it. But that's a cool feat.
It is. It's a nice one. Beautiful colors on it. We were talking about this book the other night.
Yeah, I mean that's a great book. So, explain what we were talking about when we were showing that book.
Yeah, Alan pointed out this isn't the first Doom Patrol, okay?
Mm-hmm. But it's the first title.
It's the first title, right? Mm-hmm. And it's the way I understand it, it's also the first. What is it? Evil Brotherhood.
Yeah.
It's like an Evil Brotherhood. And a lot of people think that this homage is X-Men, but it has nothing to do with what we were saying. But people say that this was where X-Men came from because this guy's in a wheelchair.
Yeah, I mean,
like Professor X.
Doom Patrol came out first, and X-Men was really based off of Doom Patrol, from what I understand. I mean, Stan Lee, and who's the creator of Doom Patrol? Do you know? Or
I don't know.
Yeah, but I think they kind of they talked a lot.
So the first Evil Brotherhood could honestly just be the first of that team. That don't mean that every character in the Evil Brotherhood are first appearances either. But I do think there's like 3 or 4 first appearances in here. I don't know them all, but it's just a cool one. I made the mistake of selling it, thinking it wasn't that big of a deal. I knew it was a key, but at the time, sometimes I didn't feel like it was a big deal because I was able to look it up on eBay, and there was some for like $20.
Oh,
so I said, I don't need this book, right? I could get one on eBay for $20. Well, lo and behold, 6 months later, I sell it, and then I look on eBay, and it's like the cheapest one's $100. You know, it's
Yeah,
like, oh,
and it's
I
usually a
messed
pretty
up.
crappy copy at that point. It's usually a
Yeah, yeah,
pretty rough copy.
right.
Yeah, but yeah, I went after all those Doom Patrol keys when I was uh, when I first got back into collecting. That was the first thing I did, was go after all the Silver Age keys. So that was one of the ones I picked up. Doom Patrol and first Doom Patrol, and then first title Doom Patrol. Did you
There's
ever?
only a few.
Did you
Sorry, go
ever?
ahead.
Did you ever? Sorry, did you ever watch the series, the TV series?
A little bit. I watched a couple episodes to say to myself, like, um, this is pretty well polished. This is a good. I mean, not really the CG or the animation, just the outfits. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I like the outfits. I like the aesthetic. I like the
Mm-hmm.
way they looked. Very classical. And I thought,
Mm-hmm.
this is probably overachieving more than it's underachieving. This is a pretty good show. I didn't watch it all, but I watched a couple, and I thought I gave it a pretty good thumbs up. I thought it was decent.
Yeah, it was a reasonable show. Yeah. So, like, what, like, in terms of collecting, speaking of shows, like, are there any shows that kind of drive your collection, or like make you want to get a certain book or anything like that? Or
Absolutely. I'm glad you asked, Alan. I'm glad we get to talk about my collecting habits. So I could talk about myself all day, by the way, but um, Avengers. Okay,
okay.
Avengers One was like the most magical. It's almost like a four-dimensional cover. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
you feel like you're within the area if you really like imagine it in your head. You got Loki, you got Thor, you got
Mm-hmm.
the Hawk, you got Iron Man. You know, they're all kind of looming. Hawk's a little further back.
Mm-hmm.
Thor's a little closer. Loki's right on you. He's right in front of you.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, you're really almost put into the cover by the
yeah,
angle
yeah,
of it. Yeah.
yeah. It's kind of cool the way Loki's back's right there. It's like you're kind of leaning over him, seeing it. And Comic Tom had this great video for a contest to win a Avengers One,
Okay.
and it kind of brought you in that fourth dimensional world too. I swear I imagine it like you're kind of swooping in and you see it. Anyways, I'm a big Jack Kirby fan, and when I found out that you could get a complete copy of Avengers One back in 2019 for 1,500, actually about $1,200 to $2,000, and
Right.
I thought,
Still expensive, but
hey,
reasonable.
yeah, yeah, that's like a grail book for me. So I went
Mm-hmm.
after it, and I actually sold a car I've been holding on to, an old muscle car, a
Wow.
70 Olds Cutlass. I got $900 for it, right?
Okay.
And I didn't want to get just a crap $1,000 copy of Avengers One, so I
Mm-hmm.
saved up. I saved up like 600 more. I got
Okay.
$1,500, and I got like a 1.5, 1.8 raw Avengers One, and
Do you have it,
it's
or do
probably
you have it
it's
handy,
probably
or
doubled by now, huh? Yeah, I
do
do.
you have it
I'll
handy?
go get it.
Yeah. So yeah, I
Yeah, it's
mean
probably
that's a great book. Yeah.
it's probably doubled in value since I got it. It's I'll just bring over all of them, most of them anyway. But it's the most I ever spent on a comic. And I figured, I had a son, if my kid wants a car when he gets older, it'll be easier for me to
you
sell
can
this book
you can probably
than to
sell it
keep
and
this
buy it.
car.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Actually, it's a pretty well presenting. It's just the spine that's a little bit rough,
oh, the spine is crumbly and not great, but
but
it's not like
the
brittle. It's just soft and worn. So,
but it looks good. Like, I mean, the cover itself is really good. Like
yes,
the image. It's the colors are really sharp.
they are pretty bright. The spine is worn, but for an attached complete copy, I'd probably get a 1.0 to 2.0, and I'm pretty happy with that. You know, like I
I
don't
think you could
expect
get a
much more.
2 at that. I think that looks like a 2.0 copy to me.
I hope so. Now I got this one for like $6.50, and I know a lot of people are pretty snobby about their books. This one is attached by one staple, and
wow.
it's complete, and it has a chunk out of it. But hey, I got one, you know.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, even in, like you just said, like 650. I mean, it's an expensive book in any grade, basically. And that book has become hot again. Like, did you buy it before the, the correction or after the correction? Where
Before,
the prices for that
before, but oh no, it's probably a little bit after. It was like right soon as it was happening, like the end of last year.
Yeah. I mean, the prices really corrected on a lot of those big books, but still, I think you still got a good deal on it.
Yeah, I feel like, well, you could get 0.5s for 900 is what I was seeing them sell at, you
Oh,
know.
really?
So, oh yeah.
So I guess I was pretty lucky. I bought mine like in, I think 2020 or somewhere around there, and I paid.
Okay.
I think I paid 700 for my copy, and it's a 5.0.
Oh, was it slab?
Yeah, it's slabbed.
What?
Yeah, the guy originally wanted 1,000 for it, but I talked him down.
Holy smokes!
Yeah.
That is a good deal. You beat me there, bro.
Yeah,
Mine was just last year though, so.
So it was funny. I'm sort of buying comics like I'm always out of phase with people. So like when I was buying all my Silver Age and Bronze Age and all those kind of books, that was before the market kind of went up for those books. So I sort of bought them before the hype. And then during the hype part, I was buying all Golden Age. Now the Golden Age are hot. It's kind of so I've always been kind of a little bit lucky about being out of phase with everyone else. So
yeah, I do envy how you got all of your Silver Age major keys out of the way. That it's not an easy feat to do, and I'm completely not surprised that you're strictly in gold right now because you got all the major stuff. You're not missing anything that could happen, you know.
yeah.
So if I was in your shoes, I'd probably be doing the same thing because really the better artists, in my opinion, are from the 40s up till the 70s, as opposed to the 2010s to 2020s. Like it's not even close to me, but
yeah. Sorry, somebody was just calling as we're recording here. It cuts
that's all
my
right. It didn't miss much.
phone. Yeah.
I held it
So
down.
what was I gonna say? Yeah. Did you ever want to go down that route of getting more into the Golden Age, or?
I about a couple years ago, I was buying a lot more. I called it 10-cent comics. I didn't really differentiate 10-cent from
as
early
Golden
50s.
Age. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's 55 to earlier than that for me is Golden Age. So there was some 10-cent that were 55 and further up to 60 that I would just call 10-cent. But anyways, yeah, I had some true Golden Age, Superman. I've sold them all. They've all helped me get my bigger keys now from the Silver Age. Not all of them. Like I kept the best ones, right?
Yeah.
But
some of them we showed in the previous time we interviewed you, like that we did the interview.
Yeah, that's the only reason I'm not showing my World's Finest 2 and my Superman 23 and my Cap 68 is because if you want to see those, you can watch the first episode.
Yeah, watch the first episode. He shows some crazy Golden Age books, which is pretty awesome. So yeah.
But the stuff that I did get rid of, Alan, was a lot of like 10-cent Superman action comics, adventure comics. I had about 30 of them. So that's a pretty good amount for me. Like I took pictures of them, I enjoyed them. Now I have like 6 or 7 because I did get a first Brainiac, and I kept
Yeah.
my other ones I really like. But
Did you show the first Brainiac before?
I would imagine I did, but
Okay.
I'll grab it if I didn't. I
Yeah,
got some
grab it.
great
Show
stuff
it.
I'm
Show
gonna
it.
show
Might as
this
well show it
time.
again. It's a
Yeah,
it's a
we'll
great
get
book.
to it. I got this book, and I'm guessing you don't have this one, Alan.
Okay, let me see.
All
If it's
right.
one of the one, oh, that is one I don't have. It's a very cool book too.
Yeah, it's.
That's a
I was talking.
Universal Monsters. Yeah.
I was talking to Dope, and he said there's only 26 on census.
So where did you find this one?
It was at my LCS. Actually, got it yesterday.
Oh wow.
Yeah. It was in this case, and it was all dirty. It was covered in dirt, grime, and that's good when you're going to buy something. You know,
Yeah,
it's all
yeah,
covered
because
in dirt.
it
Yeah,
looks
yeah,
terrible.
yeah, yeah. So I just came home. I took the book out. The book was perfectly fine. It just got dirt inside these creases and things, you know. And I took the book out and sat it over, and I cleaned the case as good as I could. And it's just a BCW little clear case. I really like it. I got the black ones over here. It's
It's
the same
really
thing.
interesting. It's a interesting case. I like. Is it just like a thin plastic, or is it like a hard like CGC case?
No, no. Have you ever had any of these BCWs?
No, I've seen them. I've seen them at the shop, so I never used them though. So
Oh, I love them.
yeah,
So me
I've
and
seen
Cade,
people use them to display them. Yeah,
I really like this clear one. My shop has some of these clear ones, but it's just like the black one. So I
yeah,
got more of the black ones, but these clear ones kind of feel like regular slabs. They're really nice.
yeah. Well,
So
it looks like I thought it was just like a regular slab with the top kind of cut off almost.
yeah. So this is a Dell Dracula #1. There's actually 2 different Dell Dracula #1s, and the other one's like a red cover, and it's a lot more people run into it. This one's an LB Cole cover, and it's like he was saying, Universal Monsters 1962, and it's hard for me to value this, but I paid $25 for the case, cleaned it up, looks pretty good. The book,
I have a
you know,
feeling that
takes
was a
itself
good
pretty good.
price.
Yeah, I think I won on that one. Dope said he
I
spent
think
over
so.
$100 on his, so
Yeah, I would have guessed in that $100 range. Yeah.
and I know that I didn't show this one on there because I
No,
just
you
got
didn't
this
show it. I
one.
know you just got this one.
Yeah. So
That's such a great book.
I love this book because now I feel like I have the first Galactus, right? Uh, I was saying to my buddy the other day, I was like, this feels like the first Galactus more than FF49 to me. And it is a cameo, but he pointed out, he's like, it says Galactus on the cover.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
Right.
yeah. And it is the first
So
Silver Surfer, so that's even bigger.
that's the main draw to it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like it definitely feels good to have the first surfer, with no question. That's the first ever surfer. But I think what's making me feel best about it is it's also the first Galactus in my mind. I don't.
Mm-hmm.
49 is the first full and everything, but
Yeah.
you could. I feel better about my Galactus collection having this. You know, I was kind of cool with just having 49 and saying I got the first Galactus, but I really didn't feel like it until I got this one. Now I feel like I got the first Galactus.
Yeah, that's the book. To me, that's the bigger of the two books in terms of appearances. But I actually prefer 49, not to disparage this book, but I prefer 49 just because they're on the cover. That's the only reason. Yeah, that's a great book. Which character do you like better, Silver Surfer or Galactus? Which in your mind is the bigger character?
Well, what am I happier to have is definitely the Silver Surfer, because the main reason I wanted the book was because I don't have enough superhero Silver Age first appearances.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking to myself, how many great first appearance Silver Age characters do I have? You know,
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, if you consider Swamp Thing a Silver Age character, which he's bronze,
He's more. I
right?
would consider him bronze. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I can't use Swamp Thing. I'd like to use him, but I can't. He's not even
Hmm.
really a good hero. So all I really got is like Black Panther. Like I got
Yeah.
a first Black Panther,
Yeah. That's a
right?
big book. Huh?
Besides that, it's all villains. I don't have any great first appearance Silver Age books.
Super
So that
heroes.
was the main draw. It was like I'm going to get this big superhero from the Silver Age, Silver Surfer. Like I can't get a Thor, I can't get a Iron
Yeah.
Man, a Hawk, but I can get that Surfer.
Hmm. Actually, it's funny. Like I at one point I would have said that Silver Surfer was bigger than at one point, like back in the '90s. I would have said Silver Surfer is bigger than Thor or Iron Man. Like at the time, like people were really into Silver Surfer back then,
Oh yeah, people were saying
and they
Silver
were,
Surfer could beat
and
Superman
Iron
and
Man
all
and Thor
everything.
were kind of like these secondary characters that people didn't really care about as much.
Yeah, they were saying Silver Surfer could beat Superman and stuff back in the day. So I remember those times.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, it's so to me that was a big book. Actually, my brother would always go on about Silver Surfer. So that for me, that was one of the big keys that I had to get was the first Silver Surfer. So that's a great book. But
I wish I would have got it earlier, but the
oh, you
way I
picked it up. Like you
collected,
picked it up at a good time. Actually, right now it's really underpriced.
I know a lot of people that bought it last year that spent a lot more money than I did. I got
Yeah.
really lucky on that FF48. First of all, the other ones I were looking at were like taped spines, and this
Hmm.
one is all together. The pages are nice. It's not too heavily creased up, and all the covers there. The other stuff I was looking at wasn't as nice. Now I'm sure there's people going to tell me they've gotten better deals, but it's a pretty good deal, I think.
Yeah, yeah. So that was your. I know you just picked that up like a couple weeks ago, at the time of filming
Yeah,
this.
I'm not sure if I showed this book I got right. This is the book I got before uh, the FF48. The
Mhm.
last book I got before it was Fantastic Four 6.
Yeah, that to me is another major. That's a major book. It's not a first appearance kind of book, but it's a first partnership kind of.
Yeah, yeah. The
Up.
favorite part for me is the second Doctor Doom,
Yep.
and it's the first evil team up or villain team up with
Yeah.
Submariner and Doctor Doom,
Yeah.
and I just wanted to get a good Doom book, and I feel like this is the second best Doom book you can get. Like people like FF Annual too, but I would suggest go get the FF6 because it's a solid Doom key. If you can't
Yeah.
get FF5, just get 6.
I did see a really crazy deal with that book though. I was on Instagram and I saw somebody get that book for $200. I was like, "What?" That was the
Wow.
craziest. It was the craziest deal, and I think it looked like a solid copy, like at least a 1.0, at least. But I know that point fives of that book go for like over $600. So I don't know what what they were thinking. Um,
I'd imagine I showed my GSX last episode, but I'm gonna grab a
yeah,
couple more slabs.
yeah,
Um, I do think it's important if I could tell people a little more history on the Biggie Shaq collecting was
sure,
meet meeting all these guys on YouTube. Like if I never would have met Discovery Bay and my boy 84 and all my friends on here, I wouldn't have started trying to get better books and reach out and take advantage of things.
hmm
Shout outs shout outs to my guy Cookie Sands Auction. I'm gonna hop on his channel right after here and sell a couple books. And it helped me be able to learn. I think that it's very important learning your minor keys and learning the smaller stuff that you can get for $1 or $2 in the loan boxes, and you can get $1 book that could be worth $30 or a $5 book that's worth 25, or as long as you're making progress,
hmm
uh, and sell all those books and get you a big book. That's kind of the way I collect. Like I take a lot of small stuff and turn it into one big thing. It's just easier
yeah.
for my mind to process, and that's just kind of the way I collect.
So do you sell a lot of books to buy other books, or like, I mean, are you selling to buy? Is that the way it works, or?
Every time I sell some books, I try to buy a book. Now, a few times I just did it to help the family out and help pay for some stuff, but most of the time it's definitely to invest into my collection. Book? Yeah, yeah. And I would say I probably spend about $2,000 to $3,000 on back issues a year. Mm-hmm. So that's like $3 or $4 a day, maybe $10 a week sometimes. Mm-hmm. I probably don't spend that much money. I probably spend about $1,500. But oh, yeah, you know, you save
first Brainiac, yeah.
Yeah, you save up enough $30 little dollar books, and there for a while, West Coast Avengers, you had $20 books coming out of that run. That used to be dollar books, and you just picked the right time. And last year was a booming year, and I did my most damage last year. This year's been a slow year for me. I've only got one book, that FF48. It's been 5 months now. Last year I got like 10 or 15 cool books, you know?
Yeah. Do you have like a top 10 list that you try to work on each year, or do you have like sort of a, you know, list of books that you go for within a year? Or?
I knew this year was going to be slow. So I only picked one book to get,
okay.
And I got it. So I'm pretty much done for the year. Last year I had 10 books, and I got them all. I've never missed a top 10, but I always guess pretty fairly to where I can achieve it. I haven't really picked any. One year, I jokingly. I put Hulk 2 on my list. Okay.
Oh, okay.
And I had GSX on my list for a couple years too. I finally got that. But I put Hulk 2 on my list, and the only reason I did it was because I saw a copy for like $400. There was a complete copy, $400. I said, that's the greatest $400 book you can get. That's amazing. You can get a Hulk 2 for $400. Yeah. And then it was gone. And then it never, and then it was like, it went from 400 to 800, like overnight. Yeah. It was like, you couldn't find them anymore. So I moved past that. I was like, I'll probably never get one. And all my buddies AOK'd me one. So I was able to get my Hulk 2. So that was cool. But here's my Panther.
This is a pretty big book, though.
This might be my favorite Kirby cover, man, that I own. I mean, Avengers 1 is probably my favorite, but this is probably my favorite too.
Actually, I never really noticed this before, but now, like, seeing it on screen like this, for some reason I realized that the Thing and the characters all really pop, because it's like such a dark background that the bright colors.
This has so many tricks and tools and so much like I'm saying, like pieces, like, okay, look at the moon, it's a silhouette. Look at the Panthers. Look, this is the first Black Panther. That's what Jack Kirby did. Jack Kirby hit home runs. He did the first appearances better than anybody.
Yeah.
What do you notice different about the Panther? Do you see it?
Well, yeah. So I've actually heard that there's 2 versions of this. Like, if you get the UK price variant, it's actually different than the American one in terms of the face of the Black Panther. But
well, the thing I'm pointing out is the cape.
Yeah, he's the only one wearing a cape. Everyone else is not wearing a cape. Yeah.
Well, I don't think he ever wears the cape again. This is just the only time I've seen him in it, and he's got a cape on.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen him with the cape, but yeah.
Yeah, you got the rest of the. You got the classic Toro popping at you. You got the Thing looking boss. You got the other 2. And the moon's a silhouette. You know, so many books have copied that, like the ASM 300 with the circle. And my Superman 23 has a circle, so I pick up on circle themes. And it's kind of like Spider-Man-esque with the way he's just, you know, up in the air like that. It's so sick,
leaping out at you.
You got the Kirby machinery down here and technology. You know, it all comes together really well. The black background, everything is just fantastic on this book. So this is definitely one of my favorite. I mean, I got FF12, FF6, 48, 49. For me, this is one of my favorite. Like I said, it's one of the only Silver Age superhero first appearances I have, so I gotta appreciate it.
Yeah, that was the first book that I bought as a slab.
Wow.
Yeah, it was my very first slab. I was like, oh, this is cool. I've never seen slabs before.
Yeah, Captain America 100 was my first, so that's interesting. Yours was FF52.
Yeah.
Yeah. This book is stupid expensive at a 9.6 even. Like, if it was a 9.8, I don't know how much it'd be worth, but it might be like my favorite Bernie Wrightson cover, and my boy Doc okayed it to me. It's almost a perfect copy, and you know I don't have much high grade, Alan, but
oh wow, yeah, that's a great book.
That's pretty good, right?
Yeah, 9.6. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, man, it's just fun looking at like the spine on a 9.6. Like, it is pretty immaculate, you know.
Yeah. It's like one of those ones where it could probably be pressed out and be a 9.8 or something silly.
Yeah, I wonder about that sometimes. Like, maybe these graders are able to pick up on if a book's ever been pressed or not. Because I thought back in the day, if they could tell it was pressed, they could put like
it restored on it or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like pressing now has become sort of commonplace that
they've just accepted it. But I think that if they could tell you pressed back in the day, they might hit you with the restored. You didn't have to have writing and stuff on it, you know?
Yeah. Actually, I was watching somebody's video, and you know how you can do like sort of like take like an eraser and just gently remove like dirt and stuff from the cover.
Yeah. I do that.
He got restored for that.
Oh. I believe it, dude.
Like, it said restored comic cleaning. I was like, well, to me that's like, you're just removing dirt. It's not like it's cleaning, but it's not like chemical cleaning or something where it's like you're adding something to the. But oh well.
So here's my only other nice, cool book that's a 9.6. I don't have many of these, but these two feel like keepers to me. So
I got that's another great one, Mr. Fix-It.
Yeah.
I used to always think that was his first appearance, but he appeared earlier.
Yeah. It's a beautiful blue collar. I love it. It's really nice.
I have a 9.4 of that book.
Do you? I got a 9.4 New Mutants 98 newsstand.
Oh, wow. That's a big book.
It's pretty good, right? It's like, I think it's about $700 book or so.
Yeah. The newsstand version in high grade goes for a lot.
Yeah, the directs ain't worth much.
Yeah, I think you can get a direct 9.8 for around 1,600 now. 16, 17. It was actually almost down to 1,500 at one point.
I'm a huge Deadpool fan, man. I'm a super fan of Deadpool and Captain America and Superman, which we probably talked about before, but before we get out of here, man, I want to make sure I point out that I tremendously appreciate your companionship and your competition and you just showing up on the Collectors Club. You're definitely probably the most consistent out of everybody there. Like, you and Bleeker and Hialeah show up a lot, and I really appreciate all you guys, but I want to take some time to say thank you for joining, and anytime I can hang out with Collector Alan, I'm going to, because Collector Alan is a well of energy. He teaches me about a lot of stuff, and I feel like if I could teach him anything, I'm doing something good. So I try to.
I think I can learn from everybody. So I always enjoy hanging out with you guys. So just quickly as we wrap up, give some announcements about your channel. And one, I always ask this. I asked this even the first time I interviewed you. What book are you chasing right now? What book are you chasing?
Oh, okay. Well, for my channel, I love the poker. I love the competition. And as long as people keep coming on the panel and we keep, people want to do it, we're gonna keep having matches on the Comic Collector Club, and I think it's just gonna keep getting better and better. I see a lot of potential in the way we play. You get a five book stack. Everybody gets some books, and we get to decide who did the best job, you know. And I think it's a fun way to show books, and we don't always do that either. Sometimes we'll just sit there and talk about movies or comics. And so my prize show is definitely the Collectors Club, and that's my favorite thing to do. And besides that, I do talk about how I collect, and I have people on Bleakers on my channel a lot, and all my Collector Club friends. And you know, besides that, the book that so I'll give you my synopsis in my head. It's going to take a little bit of time, but so for me, the book that haunts me, because I have all of the Bronze Age major keys. I have the GSX, the Punisher, the Swamp Thing. I don't have a first Ghost Rider, but I do got a Ghost Rider 1, so I don't really care. But the Hawk 181 is definitely something that lurks in the back of my mind. And if I'm going to get a Hawk 181, why don't I just go after a Showcase 22? You know, it's not that big of a jump.
I think Showcase 22 is a better book, personally.
I mean, it's a 10 cent, right? Like, as opposed to a quarter book or something.
I mean, earlier age, much more rare, and the character's actually bigger. I'd say Green Lantern's bigger than Wolverine.
Sometimes I get these books just to say I got them. You know, I don't know if I'm really getting the books. I feel like I'm getting the books I want, but like the GSX I bought, I just got it because it dipped down enough to where I could. I don't know if the Hawk 181 is going to do that. Like I would only spend like $900 to $1,000 on a complete 181.
Well, the thing with 181, the one problem I always had with 181 is the fact that there's just so many people that have like 20 copies of it. You know, it's one of those books that they could easily just flood the market if they wanted to, and then the book goes to nothing. And so it's almost like false scarcity. And it's whereas like Showcase 22, it is hard to find that book. It's, you just don't go out and, I want to buy one. No, if you want to buy a Hulk 181, you can pretty much, as long as you have the money, you can easily get one. Showcase 22 is not that easy. So that's to me the difference of the two books.
Yeah. Well, then I also got the thing in my head, like if I'm going to spend $2,000, I might as well save up $8 and get a Hulk 1. You know, that's the kind of stuff that goes through my head. So
yeah, that's even better book. Yeah.
That's what I got, man. So I don't know if I'll ever get either one of those, but I can honestly say I'm not chasing anything. I'm probably going to get smaller books for the next few months for a long time, because I can't give up any of these keys I have to get anything bigger. I've gotten everything that I really wanted right now.
That's a good way to be. That's my problem. I'm always chasing something else. So yeah, it's great. Okay, well, thanks, by the way, Biggie, for coming on the show again. And if for anyone that's watching, you can go over, check out Biggie Shaq's channel. I'll link it in the description. And also check us out every second Friday on his channel for the Collectors Club. It's a live show and it's fun. I'll be there. So that's it. So thanks, everyone. Bye for now.
Thank you, guys.